We all want peace of mind when it comes to our cars or our vans or our trucks. And there are so many products out there that can help us achieve a better peace of mind when it comes to our vehicles. I'm turning this van into a tiny home, which I'm going to be moving into, traveling Europe. So I wanted it to be as secure as possible, both when I'm in the van and when I'm away from the van. I did a ton of research. I eventually came across 3 products that I feel are the perfect ones to help me keep my van secure. First thing I'm getting is a new alarm, and I think this alarm system is the best one in the world. I'll explain why in a bit. Number 2 is a set of electronic deadlocks. When I walk away from the van at a service station or similar, I can push a button on the key fob and the sliding door and the back doors have a physical deadbolt that goes across. That stops the quick attacks that have been happening with vans. They've been peeling the doors off, or they know where to drill the existing locks. So these deadbolts basically stop that from being able to happen. And the third thing I'm getting is some hook locks for these 2 front doors. When I'm leaving the van for an extended amount of time, like overnight, I can lock these 2 front doors with a key. And that means that if anyone was to clone the key or override the factory locks, the doors are still locked, they can't get in. There's a couple of extra little bits, which I'll show you later. But I'm on my way to VehicleFit in Stourbridge in the Midlands to see Andy, who's kindly going to install these things for me, because I'm going to do most of this van conversion myself, but I feel like with this sort of stuff, for me personally, it felt better to reach out to someone who does this for a living. Let's catch up with Andy and see what he has to say. Morning, mate.
Morning, Chris. How you doing?
How's it going?
Good, man.
Good to meet you. The alarm I'm having fitted is the Starline S9 system. It's also a tracker. I'll run you through everything it can do in a second, but first I just want to say that I am so glad I got Andy at VehicleFit to fit it. He knew exactly what he was doing. I was looking at the bundle of cables thinking, oh my God, what if I mess that up? Let me run you through what this alarm can do then. So it's a fully online alarm. There's a box hidden somewhere in the van with a SIM card in it, so it's constantly online. There's no subscription cost. Loads of these alarms have subscription costs, but this one doesn't. You do obviously have to have a SIM card in it, so I just picked a really cheap plan. It uses next to no data. It calls you if the alarm actually goes off. And there's also an app. So the app is the main way to see what's going on, really. When you open the app, you see a little icon of your vehicle covered in a shroud of zeros and ones, meaning the alarm is on and armed. And then below that, you've got a map, which tells you exactly where your vehicle is in real time. It's awesome. You can see everything in the app. You can see it down to the level of the hood being open, the trunk being open, driver's door, passenger door, ignition on, engine started, all that kind of stuff. I remember the feeling I used to have when I was coming round a corner back to the van thinking, oh, is it still there? Now I just know it's still there. It's absolutely brilliant. On this screen in the app, you can lock, unlock. You can start the engine for a lot of vehicles actually. So say on a cold winter's day, if you wanted to warm up the vehicle without unlocking it, you could do that. You can't do that on the Citreon Relay as of yet, but hopefully that becomes an option in the future. So the app is what sends you the notifications. You can turn on and turn off whatever you want to be notified of. For example, I get notified if someone leans and looks in the window, or if someone shoves the van or knocks it. So there's also widgets that you can stick on your home screen so you can see at a glance. There's also a watch app if you wanted to look at a vehicle on your watch. Okay, so let's actually talk about what this alarm does. So for starters, it integrates with your factory remote, so I can still unlock and lock the van with the remote. When it's armed as well, you can't really see it in the daytime. There's a blue flashing light, really does illuminate the dashboard. With the van alarmed, if you walk up to the window like that, it warns you off. If I was to give the van a shove, it warns you off. At the same time as warning people off, I'm now getting notifications on my watch, on my phone, in real time. If that person was to continue knocking on the van or looking in the window, then the alarm would eventually go off and it would call me. I'd have a phone call, so that would really make me look at my phone. So how about key cloning? You've seen in the news where people can stand outside your house, they can pick up on your signal from your key inside your house, duplicate it and unlock the van. Not with this. There's an extra tag here, which is broadcasting a signal. Also my phone, once you've installed the app, the phone also works with it, but they need to be present as well in order to unlock the van. Even if they clone your key from your door, it's not going to work. It won't open the van. And if that wasn't enough, there's one more step they have to go through before they can drive off with this van. So they broke into the house, stole the whole key set with the fob. They got in the van like this. I would still be notified that the alarm's been disarmed in my phone. They go to start the engine. Engine starts. They think, yes, I can get away with this. But the second they go to drive away and take that handbrake off, the engine cuts out. And they won't know why. And my phone will be ringing. That engine cutout is a physical relay. So some thieves can do this thing called a Canbus override, where they'll plug a thing into the port down there and try to stop the signals from the alarm being able to do that. But this is different. This has a physical relay switch somewhere hidden in the van. So even if they do that, it'll still cut out. In order for it to not cut out on you, you have to put a secret pin in using any of the buttons on the steering wheel or the stalks. So I'm just going to do that quick. Obviously not showing you because that's my code. Now you can start. If I go to drive off, works just fine. You can have any combination of buttons as your code, and you can change it whenever you want as well. But if I get pulled out of the van at knife point, then I can remotely kill the engine. It's called anti-hijack. It waits until the van goes below 30 kilometers an hour and then cuts the engine out. But also, the second thing I got fitted, the deadlocks that are inside the back and the side doors, we'll come onto them soon, but they are linked to the alarm. The fob needs to be present, which is encrypted, so that can't be spoofed. So you need that to open these back doors. They can't get in. Cool, so some stuff that I don't actually use, but say you had a loved one or a family member and your family had these alarms, you can do like geofencing alerts. So when the vehicle leaves a certain area, it can let you know, which is pretty cool. So I can warn people away with the button on my phone. I can push it and it beeps the alarm. I can also make it beep the horn. You can have excessive speed alerts. So again, say you had a fleet of vans that you rented out, you could track your vans with this alarm and you could have excessive speed alerts. So if they went over the speed limit, you'd be notified. There's some aux wires that come out of this thing. So you can attach things like a parking heater, and in the app, you'll be able to turn on your parking heater, which is fantastic. And I'm actually going to use that during this conversion so I could turn my heater on while I'm away. And because the alarm is integrated with the van's Canbus, it can also do smart diagnostics like you do at the garage. Not as detailed as the one in the garage, but depending on the vehicle and the error codes, it can also help you diagnose some codes. So moving on from the alarm system to the electronic deadlocks, number 2, the thing I got fitted by Andy. He did a great job of lining everything up perfectly so there's no friction. This is why I wanted to go to a professional for this, because I think I could have tried to do it, but I know that cutting holes in your van is a very scary thing for me to do. And when it's holes like this that have to be millimeter accurate in order for the locks to work smoothly, then I thought it best to go to a professional. If I would have done it, I know I would have had the sticky locks. I would have had to push and pull the doors in order to close it. But the way he did it, it's just everything glides and works perfectly every time. The electric deadlocks, they close when I arm the alarm system. So they're wired in with the alarm. They're not wired into the factory remote. So if someone was to clone my key, the back doors wouldn't open. They need to disarm the alarm in order for the back doors to open, which was a pretty cool way of doing things. Andy did a great job. Here is me trying out the front locks for the first time. Yeah.
That's jammed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jammed, yes.
Great. Yeah, so overall, absolutely secure vehicle. I have no worries anymore. No worries at all. And because I'm turning this into a tiny home, it's also going to be my house. I need it to be secure, and with the cameras as well. Oh, it doesn't get any better. So let me know what you think of this alarm. I do think it's the best alarm in the world. And if you're going to get it, consider using Andy from VehicleFit. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Stay tuned for the next video where I will start working on converting the van into a tiny home. Nice one.